You're able to share screen, Eleanor, and I think just for everybody else's benefit, the link, which I will drop into chat right now. I think we had some folks, I see the link in the chat there. Thank you, Eleanor. We had some people getting the multi-factor authentication requests for this. I think it wants to default to Microsoft Authenticator. If that's what you use, you can certainly use that, but it does give an option to use another authenticator. I'm already using one called Duo, DUO, for some Homeland Security sites that work just fine for me to access this. So if you get that authentication message, you can use use the Microsoft Authenticator or another one to access the document. But we can dive right in to the data governance program strategy. So some updates based on some of the discussion since our last meeting. And Eleanor, if you can scroll down to the contents section. Just the first comment here, section 1.2 has roles and responsibilities listed. And then we have section 3, which is roles and responsibilities. So just pausing there to see if there was any difference between those two sections outlined in the previous discussions. And I'm sorry, I wasn't able to make the September meeting, but I did notice what appeared to be some redundancies between those two.
I'm going to just go down to both sections in the document itself, because I have a feeling that this is more about what roles and responsibilities are defined as versus the actual roles and responsibilities. That's what I'm guessing. So as you can see, like, it's kind of a intro. Maybe that's the duplication. And then if I scroll down to roles and responsibilities in the document, it's highly specific. So that may be the difference. So may not be a duplicate, but more of like a overview, right? So if we go back up to what you were, well, you know what I mean, introduction.
Yeah,
so maybe
perfect.
that's
Perfect. Just wanted to clarify that in the introduction. Okay, very good.
Let me know if you want me to scroll down. And for some context, we did make some we did kind of we shared this out a fair bit, and so kind of the goal is to have this all tied up and done soon so that we can have it prior to the summit. And for folks to go in and add, and we tried to resolve. And so, yeah, it didn't seem like there was a crazy amount of changes or shifts or anything like that. So if anyone has anything to call out, please feel free to. And I can't see you, so Jonathan, I'm leaving it to you to, if anyone, tell me where to stop, tell me where to go.
Yeah, Eleanor, let's take a look at 1.3 since we were discussing that in our preparation meeting. So originally we had just listed generically list benefit 1, 2, and 3. So I added some examples from our internal document that may help guide what should be going in this section. So that's what you're seeing right there.
And then I do see a question in the chat as well about the recent AI bills that Governor Newsom signed in California into law and any implications with this document. Just doing a quick overview of those bills, and there were lots of them. So thinking about, state laws, California is one of many. But there's the Transparency and Frontier AI Act, and that's more reporting on models, alignment with best practices, risk assessments at the state level, state agencies, inventorying high-risk apps. So I think to answer the question in the chat, I don't see any direct correlations with that law, but if you are a state agency, something to certainly be aware of.
Do you want me to keep going?
Sure. All right. And then section 2, the Data Governance Committee.
these were the main changes, I think. And
Yeah.
thank you so much, folks, for, thank you. So kind of giving a very, very broad template, some options, some structure. We note each organization will be different, so it may not apply, right? It's about kind of giving more so that folks can remove more. And thank you, Brendan and Jonathan, for this image kind of was edited and put back in here so that folks could potentially have something to work with in terms of showcasing an overview of committees and roles.
Yeah. Did these titles get updated? I know we provided the spreadsheet, but
I think
someone was going to edit the actual descriptions.
Yeah, Artie said that she would do it. It looked like she added something in this. We can triple check, but yeah, the AI officer is in here, so it looks like it was updated, and it's also, I think, kept vague so that folks can edit it or change it, right? So
Yeah, and
Oh, yeah.
looking at it, Eleanor, it looks like it came in as an image, so
yeah,
maybe a follow-up would be just to paste in the Excel object so those titles can be edited as departments see fit or as agencies see fit.
okay.
Yeah, we could drop the Excel just in the same SharePoint location so that, agencies can edit it as needed and add it to the document.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going unless someone stops me. Subcommittees, and also if I'm going too quickly, just tell me. I don't want to make you dizzy. I get dizzy.
Yeah.
So again,
Same thing with this figure 2. This came from internally from the city of San Diego, so these are specific to our departments. But you can edit this and add, or whatever would be relevant for your organization.
Yeah, so if we can drop in the Excel object again to make that editable. And then I think Artie did do some edits on this one as well. So if we can make that one editable, but a little more generalized.
okay. I'm gonna keep going. Anything in the chat?
All good.
Okay.
And I know Patrick mentioned if you're having issues with clicking on the link to view it, I put a downloadable version of it of this document in the chat. It won't live update or anything, but just so you can take a look at it as well, and then you can share any comments or feedback you have verbally.
Yeah. And maybe we can set that to be in the next week or so because we want to make sure that it's all closed out, edited, and ready to go. So if that's possible, that would be a great timeline for folks to get back to us and, get that done.
So Eleanor, you're
And,
saying maybe like by the 27th?
Yes, please. I'll just put that in here.
And this section here would, I guess throwing it out there, would it be beneficial to take these examples and provide some examples of responsibilities for these common roles out there? I see we have some examples listed.
A question I would have on that is, do you, are these, and I guess I wouldn't, maybe Brendan, this is something but like for these, since each agency, it might look a little different in each agency, do we want to get that granular or is that something,
Yeah, my thought was to keep it generic, and I guess we could state that these are, well, we did state that these are examples. And
Yeah.
it's going to be, specific to your agency. You may
Agencies.
not have this many. You may have more. I guess we can make
Or
notes
less,
around
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and like a data creator will mean something different maybe in each, You know what I mean? Like
Right.
so it could be the actual like resident creating data versus like the team, you know what I mean? And so I guess it could get really in the weeds when we're looking at it, but maybe consider, oh God. Okay. Anything here?
Okay, data change request process. Looks like we didn't have too much in the way of proposed edits or comments there. This one seems a little more straightforward or standardized.
I can, as we did with the other sections, I can add examples for the benefits. I missed that in the last review. So in section 4, I'll add some examples.
Does there need to be any guidance on process so that it can move quickly?
You
Adam,
mean
you're
down
saying,
here?
sorry, Eleanor.
No, go ahead.
I was
You
just
mean
gonna say,
down
Adam, you're talking about like guidance on here on how to make a change request, efficient or fluid or fast. Is that
Yeah,
what you're trying to get at?
yeah, I mean, governance is obviously critical, and some of these things are hard decisions to take a long time, or may take a long time, but many may not. And I think it would be important to define which ones can move quickly and which ones might take more discussion, and then the expectation that quick ones can move quickly, so that we're not stuck in,
Yeah.
reviewing everything in the same way.
Do you think that that is enumerated or captured here in existing processes and then recommendations? So that kind of, or what language would you add here to maybe double tap on what you're suggesting, right? So, if an agency, because some agencies may actually have different contexts for moving things differently, right? We know that's kind of like the weird part with data. So we're like, how could we capture what you're recommending? And would you say it should be down here?
Yeah, I think that's probably the right place. I mean, I think there's something about efficiency of decision making or quick responses or I don't exactly have the language to date, but I think we want
Is
to.
it kind of, because I mean, it is part of process, right? Again, like
Yeah,
CGIS stuff is going to move a little differently than, right? So what additional thing could we add here, right?
right. Maybe an expected process, or and maybe the group could set up an SLA, like a expected expectation is that on routine matters, a decision will be responded to between one meeting, and we could put a bracket between 7 days or whatever. They can decide what time frame they want to put in, but this is basically an expectation of speed that they'd be setting. They can
So if
decide what it is.
I'm hearing, I just want to repeat to you so that I'm capturing
Yeah.
this right. Expected timing in categories of matters. I think that's the word you mentioned, but is there a more targeted word that we could use to capture that? And that's so government, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
I
feel like I don't know how to raise my hand. I've
no,
been
you're
gone
fine.
forever.
It's
Sorry.
fine.
Hi, everyone.
It's
Sorry. I've been gone forever. I don't know how to Zoom anymore. So I think what I'm hearing is like, is there at least some general language we could put as like, because we know it's going to be unique to every organization, but to reference something like generalized, like, this subcommittee, when it comes to data change request processes, it is recommended to establish, SLIs or SLAs in alignment with organizational review processes or defined risk frameworks that are adopted by the organization or something like that, just like almost like a reference to get people going on thinking about how to prioritize those different changes that are unique. Is that what I'm hearing, Adam?
Sarah, you said that much better than I did. Thank you.
Okay. Still don't know how to raise my hand, so I'll just go back on mute unless if you need me to keep flapping gums about it. Yeah.
So again, I kind of go back to like, yes, it's also the like when we're saying timing, like actually timing, like, hey, 1 week versus this is the process, right? Those are two different things.
I
Right?
think it's
And
just saying I think what he's saying, Eleanor, is the process. Like what I'm hearing is,
yeah,
as part of the process, it should include some thought toward developing internal SLIs for different types of changes that come in.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think just if we maybe like just speak about it so broadly, even though it's not the process, part of the process is defining the SLIs.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna leave that there, and we can edit that. We'll smith it.
Thank you.
Okay. All good? Anyone want to add anything? Any thoughts? I would think that this is also where some of those laws come into play, or recent changes may come into play in this section. Also, am I moving too quickly? Y'all need to let me know. Are you reading through it? Yeah. Where are we? Okay.
You're doing great, Eleanor.
Well,
I'll read it through. I'm feeling good. Oh, one thing I will say, I know this goes back to what Adam was talking about around the, you know, data approval, data processing. I don't think there's any change that we need to make in here, but if folks have examples of what they do in their city, just being able to share that, because I think it's going to that part is definitely going to look a little different depending on every agency. Like, what roles do you have? Even in these types of situations, I really like to have like a screenshot of my help desk ticketing system so that people actually know what it looks like and know how to make the request. And obviously, everyone uses their own different systems. But just something where an open invite to all the agencies on here. If you have a policy like this or any of those processes in place already around your change requests and things like that, and it's written down somewhere, please reach out to Eleanor, myself, to share that, because that would be great information just to point people to, like, hey, if you want to see how one person did a detailed dive into what their existing processes and systems looks like, here's an example.
Right. Would you and like, I know we wouldn't link that in the thing. So this is such a silly question on my end, and I should know it, but we would just add something like that to because each subcommittee kind of has its own folder, so to that space to cross-link so that people can have that, right? I'm just naming the thing that I am not great at. We know that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'd point people to the folder. Ideally, what we'd be able to do is, if folks are comfortable or if those documents are already public, then we'd be able to just link to the public document on that agency's website. That way, there's never going to be any access issues when we load the final version of this template onto the coalition website, that they can just click on it and anyone in the public can find it.
Love it. Okay. Anything here, folks? Anyone seeing anything? I know this is it's a bit wordy. Anything here before I move on? I'm moving. It's happening. And we're at the end of the document. That's where we are today. Okay.
I'm sorry, can someone, so we have 7 days for any final edits, comments, feedback on this document. And then probably another round or so to incorporate any feedback that comes in, resolve the, like, we're trying to clean this up before the thing. I can use words. I have
No,
words.
it's fine.
The summit, so which is coming up. So that's our timeline, right? Full stop,
Yeah.
complete by summit. I just want to make sure I'm tracking.
And we have one raised hand. And just to kind of, and Albert, keep me honest on this, just because I know you know a lot more than I do about what's going on internally for San Jose and the summit and things like that. I think we've shared this out a fair bit, and so we've got the comments that have come in over time, and we've kind of been working on the same doc, so it hasn't been a huge amount of input. So these are just final things we're actually looking to resolve in the next by that time, because again, like, unless something's really important, urgent, high level, a lot that would require a lot of conversation, we are not seeing very much movement in this document itself. So we want to just make sure we're right sizing the request for people, and also, being mindful of time. And go ahead. Oh, there are hands. Okay. Who wants to speak?
Oh,
Yes.
so instead of saying retirement, I think we should replace it with either deprecation or obsolete. I mean, being obsolete.
Where is that one?
Yeah, where is
So the this
Oh,
may include incorporation of mandatory.
deprecation.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good call out. Keep them coming. I can't see the chat.
Oh, question from the chat. For AI considerations, is it implied that these considerations apply when an agency has advanced beyond enabling Gen AI for employee productivity and is building custom models, agents, etc.?
And I was apologies, Eleanor, I might have jumped the gun here, but I just responded to them in the chat. And I would say that it is implied in this sense. And the only reason I say that is each level builds on the foundation of the one before it. And whether I'm using my Gen AI tool just to answer questions for me directly or to operate as almost an employee within my environment, it still is going to be relying on the data that I give it access to. And that's where this data governance strategy comes into play as that underlying layer before the Gen AI that then leads to the agents.
I don't think you jumped the gun on that at all. I would just say, yeah, this is AI all up, right? Because we know that data is an issue no matter what. So it's just we're just catching up in many ways. So.
And Eleanor, I think that actually goes to a great point that
Yeah.
in this week and the next week, one thing I really want us to just think about, less about changing the document and more about the framing of when someone should use this document. So that way, when we present it at the summit, we can say, hey, if you are here as an agency and you want to put in the data governance policy that is going to enable your Gen AI and your agents, this document is for you to review as a template and build out to do that, right? Like, who do I hand this document to? And then they go execute. So just some of that phrasing or framing will go a long way in helping agencies figure out how to integrate it.
Okay. All right. It's a note in there.
Perfect.
And I know you got to drop.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'll be making you the host. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
Thanks, Albert.
Does anyone else? Oh, what's in the chat?
So I don't see any other
Yeah.
questions in the chat.
So how about I stop sharing? Or do you also want me to share? Is anyone like really excited to see the screen share and like wants to work on? Like, please let me know. No?
Okay, no hands.
Okay.
Okay, so it sounds like we have a few follow-up edits in there, but nothing, nothing significant opened. So do we have any other open questions that we didn't cover?
Just so we can make sure everyone's aware, when is the final, when will the final changes be applied, and what's our deadline for having a finalized document?
Well, the hope is for everyone to add their comments by the 27th. So for this group, by the 27th.
Okay.
And then we'll resolve everything and work on it, and then that'll be done. Does that sound okay?
Yeah,
So
that
that's
sounds
it.
good.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. And again, there's multi-factor authentication. Hopefully you can get past that, but I guess let us know if you get stuck and we can try to point you the right direction to get access to the document. But Albert did put a copy into the chat that isn't the live version for reference.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a good week, everyone.